I'm an old salty
Down
sailor.
to the coast.
I am a salty sailor and it is the life for me. Okay.
Let's call this meeting to order.
6:08.
And we have the minutes of the last meeting. Has everybody had a chance to? The only thing I saw on number 5,
Let me get it up. This is for the January meeting, right? Or February?
February.
Okay. All right, you have for number 5,
I think there's a word missing.
probably.
Leans towards?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Any other changes?
Which one was that? Michael?
That was on
Lean
5, yes. I'll make changes and get you a new one.
No problem.
It shall be amended again.
All right.
Any other changes so far?
Looks fine by me.
Anybody want to make a motion to accept as amended?
I would like to make a motion to accept as amended.
I second it.
Passed.
All those in favor? 4-0. Okay. A couple of things that I have. Reminder, April 6th at 9 o'clock for the town meeting. You'll have to be voted in. I think that's Sherry and Joe.
I think Kelly too.
So,
What?
I'm sorry,
I said I think Kelly's term is up too.
do we need all 3?
So two newbies,
Yeah, Kelly.
and 2 newbies and 1 renewal.
Yeah.
Yes, Joe, Kelly, and Sherry.
All right. The other thing I have, I talked to Jen about the questions that were asked at the February 6th meeting, the acquisition fund for $15,000 that you asked about. She's still researching that, and I don't know if you heard, but they lost a couple of employees, so they're kind of scrambling. We'll get that. And any money left over from the Hebo timber harvest, she's looking to see where that went. Okay?
Yeah, that information that I gave last time was as of, let's call it a year ago before Michelle left, who was treasurer at the
Yeah.
time. So it was accurate at some point, but I don't know how it might have changed.
Right.
Yep.
The town does have GIS. If you go to the website, under useful
Links,
links, there's quite a,
I've never been on there before.
no, it's many layered. So like,
Is this considered old business or new?
I'm just reporting what I heard from Jen. You asked questions
All right.
about that. So if you want to put it under old business, that's fine.
Okay, thank you.
So there is that GIS. It's very complete. You know, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's like having a stack of maps, and you can go down to the map. Say you want to look at wetlands, you pull out the wetlands map.
Oh,
You want to look at lots and tree growth, you pull out the tree growth map. You want to look at zoning districts, you pull out that map.
And it's overlaid on top of the current set of tax maps. So
Right.
properties, you could say, you can query it for, let's say, I live on Gauding Road.
Yeah.
Map 5, lot 2, whatever it is, and it will zoom into that area, and then you can overlay or remove other layers as you see fit for whatever lot, so I use it a lot, obviously.
Yeah, it's pretty complete.
But it
And-
is based, my only caveat is, just so that everyone understands, those tax maps, while the layers are accurate, the mapping is still based upon tax maps, not surveys.
Right.
So just make sure that if you're using those in a manner that says so-and-so owns to here, it's not legal for that, it's for assessment purposes only.
Yep. And as far as the Hebo-Hibo management plan, Jen was gonna keep looking for that.
How does this fall under Jen to find that?
Because I think it was sent to her, and it's somewhere.
And again, I have copies, but it has been given to her in digital form.
Right,
So presumably I don't have to do it a second time, but she
Right.
would have to just
right.
look for it in a computer kind of sense.
And with 2 people missing in the office, it's.
Yeah,
She's the,
but
yeah.
if you have it readily available and she has 2 people missing, would it be possible for you to?
It can. Again, I have to go back and just make sure that I've got it in that form, and where, it's the same as in with any other computer, is I have it in paper form, I can easily rescan it and then just
Right,
put it
Because
out there.
If we
But
have
it
to
was
wait
given
for
to,
Jen,
but it was given to her in order to be kept in the same manner as the more up-to-date, Town Farm Road one, which was given to her in paper form and digital form.
right.
So,
Okay.
So that can be, done a second time, yeah,
You wanna take that on?
that's fine.
Thank you. And then the other thing,
and I'm going to, and anytime that Jen's name is gonna be used, I'm just gonna say town clerk. And leave it at that, okay?
town
Administrator, sorry.
manager, town
Yeah.
manager, is that her official title?
What is
Town
her
manager?
official title?
Town administrator.
Administrator,
And, well, she has a few titles, town administrator,
tax.
She's tax
tax
collector,
collector, and election, I can't remember that official one.
Yes.
But,
voters registration.
for, yeah.
Okay.
Pick a hat.
Yeah. The only other thing that, and I don't know, we can obviously talk about this, but looking at the town website, we're not listed under departments and committees tab. So if it's all right with you guys, I
Guys, it's fine.
wanna get this, we need equal footing
Yes,
as far as the town website is concerned.
yes.
So,
Does that
and then
require a motion?
I'll take it under advisement and talk to Jen about it, but.
Okay.
And then a link to the news page, so if we have any earth-shattering news, it can go right in under that. And then if we do pass an ordinance, of course, that would be listed also. Or if the selectmen pass it.
Recommends, right, yeah.
Yes,
So, I just thought, if we're gonna make this a go, then give us equal billings with all the other committees,
yes,
okay?
I agree.
All right. Is there any other questions, comments about the future goals? I didn't wanna just drop that, if anybody had any.
Well, we had quite a few things, and I just made mention of them in there, but if we have too many goals, we're gonna be diluted. We
Yeah.
won't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So maybe we should rank them on viability and, what's important to us to go first, and
Okay.
try and go as in steps possibly.
Okay.
Because if we try to attack them all, we're gonna be too diluted and we're not gonna make anything.
Would it be?
That's my humble opinion.
I agree.
What do you think? So what do you
I think the big thing is sort of an ordinance,
you want to do that?
yeah.
To set up the ordinance
Yeah,
would be the
set
first
it,
thing?
Gives you direction,
Okay.
and then you can take it from there.
Okay, but what does the ordinance actually do for us? Did we ever decide
Well,
that it
maybe
was
it gives
what we
us,
needed?
maybe it gives us some stability within
Okay,
the town
okay.
Yeah.
government.
Well, that's a good segue to this,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah,
So, if it's all right with you, for the next meeting, I'll have put it on the agenda and we'll list those.
yes,
The ones that I
yes,
have, and based on your minutes also, and make sure we got them all. And
yes.
then we can,
Just number them, when we want to attack
Yeah.
first or something like that, yes. Okay, that's good. And so what do we need to do about this ordinance?
okay, hang on.
Well, Michael suggested taking a look at town of Alfred, or the town of,
That-
That's who this one is.
yeah.
No, that's,
That's a road committee.
that's active.
This is just a, okay.
Okay, but because my understanding of the process here, we propose it to the selectmen, they say yeah, and then it goes to the lawyer, and then it goes back to the selectmen, and then it goes on the town warrant, and it gets voted on by the town. So if we can follow this, maybe we can streamline
Yes.
the process so that we're not spending $1 bazillion for lawyer fees, having them to rewrite a whole new thing, so that's,
Is this where we are right now?
No.
In the discussion yet, or,
not yet,
okay.
hang on. And I did skip around a little bit, sorry.
Oh,
No, no,
no
you're
way.
fine.
So, next time I'll list those goals and we can go from there, all right? That's a great idea.
And anything that has to be voted on by the town, I want to make sure that when we're talking about the goals, that we have enough time in front of the general election. Because that's when everybody's gonna come out. We know everybody's coming out this time
Right.
for the general election. So anything substantive, you know.
Well, that's typically why we end up having such a long lag time for things to happen, is we have had, if you overlap the turnover that we've had on committees and with what motion that we've had in the past, by motion, figurative motion that we've had, the committee has had in the past, by the time we have ended up getting to town meeting with anything in particular, it's become very difficult to have the continuity, A, within the committee, to bring it, B, over a length of time of multiple years to the selectmen, and then to the town meeting, to be able to be voted on. Again, we've had timetable, whether that's work on town farm properties or any town lots. That has been the challenge over time, is to have the continuity of the committee, to be able to hold a line, so-called, for so long, to be able to put it in front of the town meeting, and we've been spinning our wheels for a long time for that, for sure.
And not only that, as far as the town meeting goes, but if we are going to do a survey, to update anything, we're gonna have the most turnout to be able to gather the most samples from any kind of survey that we're going to do in front of that election. So we would have to have probably between 60 and 30 days in front of the election, anything that we want to put in a survey for them. You think farther back than that?
90, 120.
Yeah.
Things have to, it takes,
So
I mean, when the
November,
meeting is in June, we have had to have stuff put to the selectmen
In March.
by March in order to even get it on the warrant.
Right.
So if you retract that back to April,
all right, so
Not
we really
working
do
on it.
need to have that.
Something by December for next year.
is that timetable about right?
Yeah, we started.
Like if we're in April, warrant
Not
articles are
December,
put
for
together to be
November.
submitted to Jen by when?
Yeah, I think December would work
In-
well.
No,
We had
the
the
town
warrant
vote takes
ordinance, we
place
just
in
went over that.
town
and
meeting.
that we can accept. So I think if you folks
Oh, I
have
see.
it by
Gotcha.
December,
So
that gives plenty enough time
there's
for the
nothing
warrant
that
finance
could be
committee to look at it
voted
and
in
select board.
on the ballot.
No, my understanding, and Dan can probably correct me, is November is election
Only.
only. The town meeting is all town business.
Okay. All right, so we pretty much missed the boat for this year.
Yes.
All right.
I think though, what we've done, it feels like we're not doing anything, but I think it's setting the foundation of what we're gonna do in the future.
All right.
And without this work, this grunt work, we'd still be spinning our wheels. But I think we have goals, we have a mission statement, we're working on the ordinance, I think
Okay.
we're moving.
Well, so let me, to that point, to Daniel. If the first thing, presumably, from the way I'm hearing things, correct me if you think I'm going sideways. If our first thing is to have an ordinance in order to create our rules of engagement, so to speak, then does that mean we can even get that in this fiscal year?
What do you mean?
Do we have to have a warrant article in order to adopt an ordinance that creates us? And if so, can we get it in by the April meeting? Well, not the April meeting, obviously.
I believe,
So,
you haven't had an ordinance to function as of yet,
right.
so I don't think you technically.
I mean, it won't make
need that,
April, obviously,
But I
but,
think
you know,
it's
we're
more
only a
just
year. But,
for my perspective of having an ordinance, it's that continuity that you folks are talking about. You haven't had guidelines are had, kind of like what does this committee do? I think that's kind of laying those regulations, telling you where your
I think it
Scope.
goes back to thinking June again, like
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
we
yeah.
can make June.
And I will say, and this would have to be talked with the select board in Jen, that if it is important, I feel like this is something important, because I want to see this committee succeed. I think it's very important to this town.
Yeah.
Depending on if there's anything else, and how quickly folks get the work done, there could be the talk of, if something else comes up, of holding a special election. If there's something else that we need to do that, and we have this done, and we can say, well, this is already ready to go, can we add this if something later comes up and we decide to hold a special election? So, I mean, no guarantee, but, you know, we see something that comes up that we're like, we need to vote on this now. Oh, well, this is already ready to go, can we add this to that?
Fabulous.
But it has to go to a lawyer,
Okay,
so that takes.
for review.
Yeah,
Okay.
So, yeah.
and I don't know who's.
I don't know that I need to put that into the minutes. What
What's
do you
that?
think? About, I just
Timing?
wrote the ordinance, I didn't write a timeline.
No.
Okay.
All right. So if we want to, do we want to go through this line by line
Why not?
and see what we got? Were you able to get anything from,
I have a few things, but I think they're what, I don't know if someone mentioned the ones that Andy had provided me, I don't know if you folks have access to
we
those.
had those, but again, that was for a,
Committee with authority.
Yeah,
Excuse me,
not a committee.
conservate,
not a committee, but a
Commission.
commission, yeah.
Commission. So, we'll just go through this section by section.
Okay.
And we'll call it, instead of the road committee, obviously it's gonna be conservation and forestry. Hereafter referred as ordinance, and then authority is section 2. And then on the purpose, again, anytime it says road, it can be replaced with conservation and forestry.
Do you want me to just type this over? Or do you have this electronically?
I don't, I asked Jen to print it out, she probably does,
We must.
yeah.
I mean, I'm not seeing anything, I blew through this pretty quickly here before we kind of got started, and I'm not seeing anything within it other than obviously duties, the section down at the bottom of page 1 into page 2, that would have anything different for us other than to say, do we have the same number of people in the committee? But all of the, you know, the Roberts Rules scenarios of quorums and numbers of people and the electability and how frequently are definitely all the same.
Is the authority all the same in section 2?
Well,
Just Title
authority,
30A.
authority in this instance isn't authority in the terms of what our
I get that.
job description is, but
I
yeah.
get that. But this is specifically citing Title 30A MRCA. Does that pertain to roads? Or, so we need to know what that is before we say this is what we're going by.
I think that pertains to the ability to
Committee.
make an
Okay.
records. The town has that ability,
Okay,
or that right. The committee will provide non-binding recommendations to the Board of Selectmen.
so we're gonna, on section 3 purpose, where it says committee members will work with the road commissioners,
No,
who will we work with?
that will.
Just the board?
Yeah,
Selectmen,
All right. Under general, how many people? We're gonna change that to 5?
no, it's 7,
It stays 7?
yep,
We're short?
yep. And I think that's, the staggering is all the same. And in the second paragraph, at the first committee meeting, blah, 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 the members will elect from their ranks a committee chair, vice chair, and a secretary. If we had 7, we might get a vice chair, but,
Leave it in?
leave it in,
Okay.
and I think when you were absent, or had to step aside for a vote. I took over as vice chair, so it may be a combined thing.
Okay.
We gotta have posted notice.
Where? On the website?
Jen does that. So
Okay.
it's probably on the website, a sign on the door. It has to be a public,
Well, she posted up on the town,
Yeah. quorum. And then a selectman, yep, so we've had that.
The only part from my point of view that I can see that would, I mean, obviously, like I said, section 2 duties would need to change. But the only thing that I can see from the town forester's point of view is there are requirements that would need to be added as a line item that says town forester on committee or whatever like that,
Okay.
however that goes, so that would be some.
Under the structure?
Organization structure of meetings, yeah.
Well, I think it's listed currently within Jen's description of what the town forester is,
Yeah.
but not necessarily within the level of the committee. So if that is a reworking of this ordinance, then it probably would have whatever that language pertaining to the town forester inclusion on it.
Good point.
I think you could, I mean, it might be too much, but the section 1, you could break that up more like section 1A, organization section 1B, you could put in membership of the committee, you could put that part about the forester under that.
Again,
If that's something you folks.
how it goes, again, this has all got to do with the town's
No, it's,
structure with how they have me set up within it, so.
right. I think, so I'll see if we can get that from Jen, or do you have it? No.
Because remember, last time we left it, it was being reworded and reworked and whatever that means, so. I don't officially know what my status is right now.
And with that being said, having the town forester shall be included in the committee, is it a conflict of interest when we're voting on logging?
I think that.
That
was
is
kind
when
of-
we get in, that's when we have talked about within the
So-
scenario of the town forester has abstentions and discussions and is for advisory purposes only style.
So that's what we need to write in
Abstention.
here.
That's
That's what you
part
can
of
put
the
in.
description that Steve's talking about.
Yeah,
So that, there's gonna be a paragraph from Jen that will
Oh,
slide
okay,
right
just
in.
drop right in, okay.
Okay? And yes, the conflict of interest question has been kicked around and answered and answered and kicked around and answered again, so. As a licensed forester, you're very well aware of conflict of interest.
It's a hard road, isn't it?
In a small town, it can be.
Yeah.
Under duties, I'm wondering, could we just slide the mission statement in there?
Why not?
I don't see why not.
Wait, do you have a
Because
copy?
I'm looking at the mission statement in all honesty, I mean, we've gone back and forth over this having to do with, do we need the ordinance? And it seems to be that the town at large above us is looking to have us have this, regardless of whether or not we have any authority within it or not. I mean, to my metric reading through this, similar to the road committee, the road committee has responsibilities, but the road committee has no authority.
Right.
So it's exactly the same scenario.
Right.
And I guess with all due respect to the selectmen and everyone within the town above us, the idea behind having an ordinance seems redundant to me if you have a mission statement. However, it doesn't change what it is that we do on any given day. So therefore, if the town selectmen deem it important to have one, I don't want to say I can care less, because again, I think it's redundant, but over the mission statement, but if you can incorporate that within it, at least you don't have it as a duplicate or,
Okay, so
Do you have a copy of it?
what?
The mission statement that we talked about?
Probably.
I think the idea behind having an ordinance is, as you know, there was you folks are stuck or talking about certain things, having this as a reference, if something comes up, you can always refer to the ordinance and say, these are the guiding principles, what does it say if a conflict of interest comes, oh, it's right in there. So I think it's more of anticipating anything in the future to make things so that you don't, so that the committee doesn't have a moment where you get stuck on something and then you spend a month or two without any of that guidance. It's like, no, this is how this is how we handle it.
That's what we all voted to include.
And so I think that's more where that is, so that we don't see those situations where the committee gets stuck and then, like you said, people either leave because like nothing's getting done or whatever happens. So I think that's the idea behind it. And I guess, how long is the mission statement?
Yeah, it's a paragraph.
I'm wondering if a mission statement would be more of the purpose of the committee or no? I don't know, I'm not particularly, I know there's some difference in them, but.
Well, can you read what we adopted,
Yes.
or I can read it?
The mission of the Acton Conservation and Forestry Committee is to work within the Town of Acton comprehensive plan in order to help promote goals of conservation and responsible stewardship of natural resources and open space in our town.
I think that would be all right under the duties, honestly, because it's telling everybody what we're going to do, whereas purpose is a little more delineated, saying that we will work with the selectmen.
Right, the purpose is the procedure side of it, the duties are a little more.
And with that being said, we have to rewrite the purpose paragraph in the ordinance to say that we are, instead of perform the duties, we have to say, perform to the mission statement.
Hang on before we go down that road, because I think there's some things on
Next page.
D, E, F, and G that we may want to keep in there.
I
Okay?
see, okay.
Okay. I don't know what RSMS is, so,
Yeah.
That's a system that the town has that's supposed to be working, it's specific to the roads.
okay. So, under E, I think research and report on any grants related to,
We have to back up.
What?
A is
Oh, I'm sorry.
turnaround easements, so
I-
that has to be deleted,
yeah, I did,
and we have to add the mission statement in as A. How's
Right.
that?
sorry. I had already
No
done
worries,
that in my
so
mind.
I'm gonna make a note, mission
Yep.
statement goes here.
Yep. B is gone,
Alright, delete,
C is gone,
delete,
D is gone. E, I think any grants related to conservation,
yeah.
um,
And forestry.
forestry,
Land management, are there grants for that?
I think
Or as far as structural improvements, or to
that might
align
be under
with state?
conservation. I was thinking more of outdoor education or, you know, can we get the fourth graders out there and
Look for some spotted owls.
I love that.
identify trees or,
I love that.
Right.
You know, you're supposed to be standing on that X, Daniel.
And I gotta follow our own rules.
we'll just pencil that in, outdoor education.
Okay. And that's still under E?
Yes,
We need somebody on this committee that's good with grants.
We need somebody in the town.
Needs some
for
of it,
grants.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not overly busy.
It's a
That's a whole other world.
thankless,
Well, I would thank them if they were able to help us out.
You would thank them if you received the check, you would not thank them if you were the one having to put the work together to ask for the check.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. F, outside workshops and trainings. Yeah, we can keep that in there, can we?
We could, because at some point, we're gonna be going out there and reviewing these things, and all of us together working with the selectmen so that we all have a, path forward. I don't know if that's the correct wording of what we have here. Maybe it needs something added to it.
Remember, this is your first go through some ones, whoever's gonna type it up and have it, you'll have plenty more time to think and
Right?
Yeah, this
think
is,
about.
this isn't the final product.
Okay,
And then G,
that's still valid.
yep, I would say so. And then section 3A,
That's still valid.
I believe it is.
Oh, one thing I wanted to bring up in the above, before we go into the regulations, sorry, because we had talked, I know that I talked about it, being able to be notified when there's foreclosed property and be able to have a way forward to obtain that, to buy it. Just like in the comprehensive plan, there was an acquisition fund and they would get notified when a foreclosed property was available, and we should get notified and vote on it. Does it help us to have that property or to let it go by and back to the general market? Because we were supposed to get first bid on any foreclosed property that's gone to the bank. And that may be a way to obtain more green space,
Right.
to make sure, looking forward 10 years from now, that we have some green space, a little park on the corner of H Road or something. I know that one home is not doing so well.
Oh, yeah, right. Right
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I look,
I don't wanna forget that in here, because that's an opportunity. I don't know where it would go in here,
Would that go, do you think duties to make recommendations, like, cause
but we would have to get notified. And then we would have to vote and then bring it to you if we think
Yeah,
it's
that wouldn't,
valid.
technically speaking, that wouldn't be in our ordinance, that would be within the selectmen's ordinance.
but if we got I think what.
I mean, I agree with you that we should be, I'm just saying where that is located.
Right, right.
I would think that it should be within the select board's
It should be
scenario
under
to
purpose
put
as
out to
well.
all.
I think the only reason I was asking about, and I think there's a valid validity in having it in here, because thinking turnover and stuff and things being forgotten, someone again looks at this and they say, wait, we should be doing this. If we as a select board aren't doing our job, someone can say, hey, I just looked over this, it says we should be getting notification. So that's something that I can bring up and talk to them, but like, as you know, the select board changes, priorities on individuals on the select board may change in the future, so having that in here for whoever's in the committee, obviously this is a passion for you folks and everyone who wants to serve here, that you'd be like, hey, we're not getting this notification. Like, just a way to
I
remind
think
us.
that we would get notification from the town administrator, and then we would have to walk the property, review the property, and say, is it warranted, and then bring it to the selectmen to see if it can be included into the budget somehow.
Right.
And I don't know where that would go in here, but we want to have that.
Okay, I think under duties,
Okay,
yeah, somehow we'll slide that in there.
receive notification. I'm going to say town administrator, but I'm not sure that's who it would be. Or
You can
the
leave
tax assessor.
We can leave it this town for now, we can ask that once
Okay.
we start getting it further in the draft, and as a board, we can talk and say,
The lawyer may have a term that the authority of
Well,
the
if you
town.
use the town as a capital T town, then that means whoever it is
Yeah.
that is that responsibility.
that's why I said a
For
placeholder for now, if.
review and possible purchase.
But where would you get the money from?
It would have to be voted upon and have a special.
You're
warrant
getting
and
way
finance.
too specific on what to put into this ordinance though, in that regard.
Yeah. We may,
For example, we have, if I remember correctly, in past years that I've looked at this, it has come about that there has probably been, I mean, Daniel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've seen more than like one or two, for example, like tax taken properties per year that were not even just like a house. And there were like 4 or 5 checks and balances within that
yeah,
to allow that property to go back to
Yeah.
the landowner or homeowner that was delinquent at that time.
I get it.
So if you
And I'm
go,
about that. I'm saying that maybe it's a piece of land or something that is going by, but I'm not trying to evict, you know, an
no,
elderly
I'm just
person out
saying
of
that
their
the idea
home.
behind putting within the ordinance, going so far as to say we should look at each piece for purchase, so to speak, is at level 5, not level 1, which would be where the ordinance, I think, would be written.
But if it's not written in there, we're not gonna get any notification.
Yeah, we'll put in some language and keep talking about it.
Again,
Because it
I'm not
was in
against,
the
I'm not against the process,
It
I'm
was
just saying
in
within
the
the ordinance.
comprehensive plan, and they had a budget for it, and then approximately 10% of the home's value was in the budget to purchase those.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see that re-included into our ordinance.
Yep. We good on duties?
I think so.
Anything else? So if we look at regulations, we don't have any purchasing power. I don't even know if we'd have, I don't know if we want purchasing power.
No, we just wanna be able to recommend,
Yeah.
hey, that this property is something that we might like. Maybe, you know, a swing set in a small park on the corner of H Road or something, because if it's gonna be built like a village, which is in the comprehensive plan, then it needs to have some designated green space besides the campground.
Yep.
And I'm glad that the campground's there, but it needs to have
Yep.
something that's ours.
Section 3B, again, I think it's conservation forestry.
And that, it also says, vote at a road committee meeting, so our committee, so.
Right.
Conservation.
That just makes sense. C makes sense.
And we just change it to us.
Yeah.
We don't need to consult with the secretary. The chairman's doing just fine setting the agenda.
Well,
So I'm just gonna put, chairman will prepare the meeting agenda.
okay,
That's what we've been doing.
yeah.
You do a mighty fine job.
Thank you. So 5 would be okay, and 6 would take out A.
Okay?
Keep B and C. Okay?
Yep.
Section 7, looks like it should stay, because that's what they've been doing anyway.
And obviously this date will change.
Yeah.
And this changes to conservation.
Yeah. Dan, I will look through Alfred's ordinance and see if there's anything that we oughta, if we missed anything that would be pertinent.
Yeah, I would recommend you share that with the committee as a whole and see if anyone else, that way,
Yeah.
for the next meeting, we can talk about this, is there anything that you think would be relevant?
That was relatively simple and painless. Not too bad.
How do you check them out? Would you have to go to the town hall and go through the ordinances?
Is it online?
It's online?
Yeah. In fact, I think somewhere in this,
We could probably look online and make notes.
I may have, oh, wait a minute.
Oh, look at you. have time. You have time? We have time. What time do you have to go?
It's just something I have scheduled that's gonna have to wait, so just as long as we're doing okay, just keep moving.
Okay.
I will have to leave around 7, but you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
still use me for that.
Maybe it would be better if I made copies of this and
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd like to be.
now we can go forward, and then we
If-
have time to
if
read.
I take a picture of it with my phone, can I send it that way? Would that work?
Yeah, that's fine. I can make it bigger.
What is this, the Alfred one?
Yeah,
I already have it, but go
Yeah.
ahead, so
The-
however these guys need it, yeah.
it's just duties of commission, and this is what we kind of used as the basis for the mission statement, so, and a lot of it is not applicable, but
Okay,
just to give you an idea
sure.
that we can say we did our due diligence and looked at other,
You can just give that one to Joe and then just forward the one thing to me and I'll just review it. Do you want me to type up these
I'd probably just
changes?
take a picture of it now.
okay.
Let me see what we can do.
Can we?
I don't know if this is electronic. I can call Jen tomorrow and see if it's electronic, ask her to send me a copy that's not,
Protected,
locked, yeah,
right.
and an editable copy, and then I can make these changes and have it for the next,
I would assume so. I mean, this was relatively new, this, so
Okay.
even if she could make a copy of this,
okay.
I would assume, I mean, it's 2019.
So I will call her tomorrow. I will ask her to send me an electronic copy. And hopefully, I use my iPad and it has Page, it doesn't have Word. So, yeah, and it took me a hot minute to figure it out. I tell you, I had to ask my wife. So if I can get the two formats to speak, I will make these changes.
One would think that's not as hard as it actually is,
I
but
know, right?
Yeah.
You need a
So-
special program for that.
And if I
That's right.
do get it to speak and I'm able to make these changes, I'll forward it to you, Michael, and then you can review it and then disseminate it.
Okay.
And then we'll all take a look at it and we'll have it ready so it can go in front of the next. Does that have to be voted on after we all look at it, or can we consider that a vote? After we vote, or after we look at it and say, yes, this is good, or,
no,
You're
we're
gonna
gonna
have to make it like
vote
an
on that.
official recommendation and say that.
well, because we wanna have this in front of the next meeting, right? In
Us,
April?
us.
No, not April is the town meeting, it won't make April, it's whenever is the next legally binding town meeting, which would have to be a special town meeting in some manner, which would typically be like if there's something happening at month 6 of the 12-month calendar, it would be spaced out.
And that's why I was saying that if we happen to have a special town meeting and you folks have that done before, like, if we
Well,
may not have
just-
a need for a special town meeting, you could say, can we add this to that, potentially instead of waiting.
Dan,
all
we
the
can
way-
have this ready. It's
Yeah.
electronic. Can we add it to the next meeting agenda?
Because
It won't make April is the point.
for
They
town
won't make
meeting,
the town
everything
meeting.
has to go through,
Because it has
it's
to
a
go through.
process that the warrant and finance.
Oh, this has to go to the
review
lawyer
it,
still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Select board have to view it, then we have to have a public
I know you.
hearing.
This
But I love that
bureaucracy
energy,
stuff is
like-
just
Wait a minute,
exasperating.
you were in the service.
I
come on.
was, and I learned how to make things happen faster.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. That's why I moved up so fast.
I can mention something, you can take a picture, I just took a picture.
Oh, fabulous. Okay, I'll do that.
And then just enlarge it,
Yeah,
then we can give it back.
I'm
to
blind now.
Michael, and
Yeah.
he's got it, yeah, that's six of
But I think having a little time for you folks to like kind of think and see, is there anything like throughout the week you might have, oh wait, this thought just came to me or something, like it gives you time to make sure that it's exactly what you folks are hoping it can be and thorough and well thought out.
Thank you.
Because I'd rather it be like a
Brilliant.
complete, fully realized ordinance than being like, oh, we should have added this or we should have.
Right. And when we get it done, then we make a motion to present it to the board of selectmen. And then they do with it what they,
Well, part of your job here, as I would see it, Daniel, though, is to help us keep from spinning our wheels and submitting something to the selectmen
Yeah.
that is not going to be passed for whatever reason that we might not foresee. So if we create this thing and we are at a point where we're talking about voting it in order to kick it
Yeah,
upstairs, I would hope you would give us some feedback if there's something on it which might tell us that it will not be brought
Oh,
forward.
100%. I
Okay,
love that type of work, and that's,
Okay.
like I said, I want to make sure that, I mean, I'm here, I'm at the meeting, so I wouldn't sit here and watch you folks create something that I'd be like, there's no way the others would be like, no way, because that would just be not fair to you folks and the time that you're committing to doing this work.
Okay, anything else on this? We're good? The only other thing I had a brainstorm about was a site visit.
It's nice out now.
It's still March.
Oh, I mean, to get up there, yeah. Have you been up there?
Pretty
Not
soft.
yet. I've been waiting for it to dry out a little bit.
Dry out.
Yeah. Do we want to schedule, do you want?
we're gonna have to schedule it, because if it becomes town business, because the committee is doing it, then we have to have the notification to Jen on a date and stuff like that within the time. Remember, if it's something that, you know, hey, Steve, can you go up and look at, ... that can happen whenever. But if it's anything that is committee business, as in a site meeting for the committee, it has got to have the 10-day notification of Jen posting it.
Would
It's
you,
probably
would you,
classified as a workshop or a meeting.
Or however, whatever you wanna call it, but that's where we've
Workshop.
talked about it in the past, so. Like I said, that's where we've tripped over some stuff before, is saying, okay, we put it on the calendar for a month out, but then it turns out to be that, you know, you look at that weekend and it turns out to be a complete monsoon or something. And then you're rebooking and, oh, well, we can't rebook it because then that one's not within the 10-day window.
How
And
about-
things get, you know, like kicked down the road, so to speak.
How about this?
so.
How about, the next time that you go up there, that you take a video, walk it with a video, and then we can review it whenever we
it's
want.
over 100.
You can't walk 124 acres and take a phone in front of you and watch
That's
the whole.
Too many.
What is it, when would it be good to go up there with a four-wheeler up to the entrance?
When would it be good to do what now, Joe?
Go up
Take a
in
four-wheeler.
go up in a four-wheeler?
I have a
You
side by
could go up
side.
most any time
Yeah.
up that road even, I mean, within another week or two, the frost will be out of the ground and that road will be travelable.
It won't be like all muddy, like deep
I
mud.
didn't say that, because it will be that and after any given rainstorm.
You know, what, we get 3 inches of rain here yesterday?
Yeah, we
And
got.
Kelly
two-
works, so we
got
have
two
to,
over the weekend.
we have to kind of work around Kelly too. So,
So again, I can bring back about an idea and put out to the committee between now and next meeting a proposal to then take, you know, we can say, hey, 2 weeks out, it looks like, would this day of the week work good, or time of day work good? And then I put out there a couple of options, and then we just, through email, confirm or deny, and then we send that to Jen and run with it, as far as that goes. That doesn't have to be
So
a,
I think sometime in April.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm putting down in the notes, Steve will propose a date in April for walkthrough.
Yeah, whatever you wanna call
Site
it.
visit,
Hmm?
site visit.
Site
Site
visit,
visit, site review.
I do have one that I think you mentioned it last meeting, but I'm not sure. I just want to remind that the town is doing a town cleanup.
It's what?
The town's doing a town cleanup.
I don't think we discussed that last time.
Well, that's something, it's April 27th, I believe, it's been posted, but that might be something, that'd be great, because it is cleaning up, you know, last year they did it, we did it, and it was cleaning up the cellars, that might be a great thing for you folks to show up to, and if you have the ability, because I just, like, keeping the town
Who's
clean.
coordinating that? How do you know where to go? Are you just going out in your general neighborhood?
So it's a bunch of just us, so it's like John and Hope Dinner Camp, myself and a couple other individuals who are doing it, but there's a flyer put up in what's been acted. Jen Rue has a save the date on the town newsletter and stuff with more information to come. But the idea is we're gonna meet here at the town hall. So it's coordinated, we're gonna have trash bags, vests, people to pick up trash bags, people, we're gonna assign people to go to different roads and just, you know, clean up. And then by 12 o'clock, everyone come back here for lunch.
What time does it start?
9 o'clock, I believe we're gonna do like 8:30 is gonna be like donuts and coffee for people who wanna get here a little earlier, and then 9 is gonna, kind of, everyone who shows up will kind of coordinate and say, you folks, who's gonna do this road, and it was fun last year, but that might be a great thing to show that this group is active and
Yes.
back up and running, and maybe there's some people who are participating in the town cleanup who might wanna join the committee, because obviously they care about keeping this town clean and the environment protected, so.
We need t-shirts.
I was thinking black and white stripes, like the old jail outfit.
But so that could be a great opportunity.
So that's April 27th?
April 27th, but I'll send you more information because I'm part of the group that's helping.
Hey, since this is online and it's being viewed right now, I wanna give a shout out to Priscilla. I know you're out there every day picking up trash, and she does all
So she
along
does, yeah. Keep
our
going.
Wilson Lake area.
That's great.
She's out there every day picking up trash. Thanks, Priscilla.
All right, next meeting is scheduled for the 2nd. I'll confirm that with Jen, of course.
April?
Yes,
Okay.
all right,
To April, okay. In conjunction with the other one as well, right?
the 6th.
Busy. Okay.
All right, any other questions?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Here we go. Thank you, folks.
6:59.
Ooh,
Man, you are really good at this.
You guys are moving
Hold
along.
on, the camera's still on.
Is that your,
It is.
see, I saw it,
You like it?
I think, well,